NTSB arrived here in Baltimore County about 6 o'clock this evening to begin the investigation into this grade crossing accident, which led to a derailment of a train, which of course led to an explosion. The NTSB, people associate us with aviation accidents, and we certainly do that. But we are an independent federal agency that's charged by Congress to investigate transportation accidents of all modes, to determine the probable cause, and then to issue safety recommendations to prevent the reoccurrence. Before I go any further, I'd like to extend our thoughts and prayers to those who have been affected by this tragic accident. Here's the factual information that we have right now. The CSX train had 2 locomotives and 45 cars with mixed freight. The train was traveling in a southwesterly direction along the track, and the truck was crossing the railroad tracks at a 90-degree angle, headed towards the southeast. This grade crossing where the accident occurred was a private grade crossing. It had a stop sign there, but it had no signals, no bells, or no lights, no crossing gate. Now, after the accident, 15 cars derailed. The locomotives, the leading locomotive was fixed with a forward-facing video camera, which is oftentimes the case on rail accidents. Locomotives, they have forward-facing video cameras. The data from that camera has been obtained, and it should be able to provide us real good information as far as what the train crew saw as that train went down the track. We also have 2 event recorders, so we should be able to ascertain the speed at the time of the collision, the train speed at the time of the collision. Accurate information regarding the injuries concerning the accident, that would be obtained through the local officials. I want you to know about our response. Again, we arrived on scene about 6 o'clock this evening. We have brought a team of 15 investigators. It's a multidisciplinary team. We'll be looking at a number of factors. We'll be looking, among other things, at rail factors, rail operations, highway factors. We'll have fire specialists on the scene. We'll be looking at hazardous materials. We'll be looking at human performance. The point I want to make, it's a multidisciplinary team consisting of NTSB experts that have a lot of experience doing this. In addition to our investigative team, we have a specialist here in Baltimore County, our specialist in transportation disaster assistance, who will be here to help those who have been directly impacted by the event, the families of the truck driver, and also any support that the train crew may need as well. Throughout the next few days, we'll be here to work on the scene, to thoroughly document the information, and I say that we're here to document the perishable evidence, that information that can go away with the passage of time. And our mission is to understand not only what happened, but why it happened, because ultimately what we want to do by understanding why it happened, then we can make recommendations to prevent it from happening again. And that's why we are here. Find out what happened so that it won't happen again. We're just here on a fact-finding mission. We're not here to determine the cause of the accident. We're not going to speculate on the accident. We're here just to collect the facts. I suspect we'll be on the scene here in Baltimore County anywhere from 4 to 7 days before we then take that information back to Washington and begin our analysis. I want to emphasize that we are just at the very beginning of the investigation. We've got a lot of work to do. Tomorrow will be our first real day of boots on the ground, getting an up close and personal look at the wreckage. For now, the first responders have not allowed anybody, of course, to get up close to the wreckage for a good reason. But we expect, they've told us, that we should have access to the wreckage early tomorrow morning. So while we haven't been up close and personal to the wreckage, we have been still collecting information, securing information, and that's what we've been doing since early this afternoon. One final comment, I'd certainly like to thank and recognize the great efforts of the first responders. They have certainly been working hard all day or all afternoon and into the evening to put out this fire, and we appreciate their hard efforts. I'll be glad to respond to any questions that you may have.
Do you know what exploded?
Do we know what exploded? What I'm told, and this is preliminary information, but what I'm told is by the way, there were 15 cars that derailed. The chemical that exploded is terephthalic acid, and that's spelled TERAPHTHALIC. Terephthalic acid, and it's used to make plastic. Other questions? The question is that the only thing that exploded? Again, we're just at the very beginning of the investigation. We want to know exactly what continued to burn. So we want to find out exactly what the consist was, what the hazardous material was. So we'll be looking at how the fire propagated.
Did it explode because the tanker car was ruptured in the derailment?
Did it explode because of the tanker car was ruptured? And that's exactly what we intend to find out. What happened and what caused the massive fire and explosion.
Was the fire stopped on the intersection, or the truck was moving?
Was the fire moving across
the truck? At the crossing, was it moving, or was it stopped?
The question is, was the truck moving across the railroad tracks? And we will find that out. We will get a real good view of that when we download and look at the forward-facing video camera that was on the leading locomotive. Question back here.
Is the fire out at this point?
Is the fire out right now? It is mostly out at this point, but there are still flames, and it is still smoldering at this point.
Was the crossing authorized? Was it known to CSX? Were they allowed to be crossing there?
Well, the question is, was it an authorized crossing? Yes, it is a known grade crossing. It's a private grade crossing. It does have a stop sign there, so it is a road that crosses a private road that crosses the railroad crossing, or the railroad.
Did the driver have
located back there though?
Would you repeat that, please?
There were businesses located back there. They were using the crossing regularly. Is that something that's okay to not have any safety mechanisms?
Are they? Why was that? Do trucks cross there regularly? We will be looking into that to find out what frequency traffic is going across that, and that's something that we will be looking at.
Was the driver in this accident authorized to cross there?
Was the driver of this accident authorized to cross? We will be looking at that as well. I want to emphasize that we're just getting here. There's a lot of information that needs to be done, and I know you all want the information right now. That's your job. Our job is to methodically go through it and get the facts.
One more question?
Did you say it was grade crossing, G-R-A-D-E? I'm having trouble here. Private grade crossing?
So the question is, am I saying private grade, G-R-A-D-E?
Yeah.
It's a grade crossing. It's the grade between the road and the railroad. So it's a grade crossing is what that's called. Grade crossing accidents, there were nearly 2,000 grade crossing accidents last year in this country, leading to just under 300 fatalities. So it is and pedestrians trespassing on the rail. Those are the two leading causes of fatalities on our nation's railroads. So here's what I want to say. We've taken the last question. We will be providing Tomorrow we should have a lot more information. Eric will tell you how you can follow us on Twitter and through our webpage. But I think the next time we see you, we'll have a lot more factual information. Again, we've just gotten here. A lot of information needs to be gathered. I do feel like tomorrow we'll have a lot more information. Thank you for being here.